8:13, you probably read about it. Big changes coming to the real estate industry. Commissions realtors get for helping someone buy or sell a home are changing. Those costs are coming down. The National Association of Realtors agreed to settle a lawsuit which will change the structure of commission payments and most certainly will change how an agent for a buyer gets paid. But if you're thinking this is going to bring down the price of homes in the market, probably not. We bring in the founder, CEO, and broker of LaMacchia Realty, Anthony LaMacchia. Good morning to you, Anthony. So I saw your social media post over the weekend, and you were railing against a lot of what you say is misinformation being reported on the potential impact of all of this. And it is complicated, but first, in a condensed way, explain what happened.
Well, everyone keeps talking as if this settlement has something to do with what realtors charge. And that's the biggest misconception that I'm seeing. I saw another news outlet this morning that said 5 and 6% non-negotiable fees are gone. I wish fees were non-negotiable. Us realtors wish it was that easy. It is not. We have been getting negotiated with from sellers for many, many years, and that's capitalism. You know, I'm kind of being a wise guy when I say I wish, but that's how it goes, and we've been getting negotiated for several years. So the way we go about getting paid is what is potentially going to change here. This is a proposed settlement that the National Association of Realtors made with some plaintiffs and some plaintiffs' attorneys who are out to disrupt our business. They're not really out to help consumers. They're not really going to help consumers. In fact, some of this might actually likely will make things harder on a first-time buyer, not easier.
That's a standard 6% thing of the past. I didn't know it was a standard 6%, but the deals I've always worked with, you've negotiated, at least around here. But let's go through some of the specifics of this. Will this drive down the price of homes?
There's no way it will drive down the price of homes. Home prices are affected by supply and demand. Right now in the Northeast, we have a very low amount of inventory, so prices have been going up. We're in the season right now as we're talking that we're at the peak of multiple offer situations and buyer frenzies on homes. So there's no way that prices are just going to somehow mysteriously drop. And any viewers that are seeing that in the news need to understand that that isn't true and that's being misreported by many outlets.
But sellers could save money here. If I come to you and say, Anthony, all right, I'd like you to sell this house, but I want to, I want 4%. That's the max I want to pay you. You will negotiate those fees, correct?
Well, that's always been the case. I mean, as long as I've been doing this 19 and a half years, home sellers have been asking questions about, hey, can the fee be X? Can the fee be Y? This has been going on for a long, long time. And I think the part that people are misunderstanding is the argument that the plaintiff's attorneys made is it shouldn't be that the seller pays the buyer agent's commission. Well, under the current mortgage finance system, you can't just take a commission and plop it on top, add it on top to what you are paying for a home. You can't do that. So that's why it's always been somewhat baked in and the sellers have agreed to share it. If I was a home seller, I strongly recommend to all home sellers to still have a willingness to offer compensation to a buyer's brokerage, to the agent that brings the buyer. And if you're not willing to do that, if you take a hard stance and you believe these faulty news reports that say a seller shouldn't have to pay, that's okay. You can do that. But let's see how many buyers show up to your home. You're going to eliminate the buyer pool, eliminate a lot of people from your buyer pool because a lot of buyers are going to say, well, I haven't got the money to come out of pocket to pay that. Especially first-time buyers or veterans buyers, VA buyers. People aren't going to say, oh, yes, I have the money for the down payment, the closing costs, and, hey, no problem, I'll pay the commission on top. Maybe some second-time buyers, third buyers, older buyers, but in particular, first-time buyers are not going to have the money to do that. So I strongly recommend to home sellers to still have a willingness to share part of that compensation or offer some compensation to the buyer agent's brokerage. They just can no longer do it in the MLS if this is approved, supposedly as of July.
So are buyers agents going to be a thing of the past now? If the buyers are on hook to pay the agents, what does that mean for the future of buyer agents?
Gene, one thing I've learned in this business is you cannot stop consumer behavior. All these negative articles, obviously they've turned up dramatically since Friday, but there's been a lot of negative news around real estate and the use of a realtor since October when this wrongful verdict came down in Western Missouri, and nothing has changed. Buyers are still going on Zillow and clicking contact agent, going on realtor.com, clicking contact agent. We have droves of buyers coming to our home, to our company to buy homes. Over 90% of transactions nationally are co-broked, meaning there's two brokers. I don't see that changing very much. Maybe temporarily it'll dip for a while, but people know that they need a realtor when they're buying a home. If they go directly to a listing agent, that listing agent is doing what is in the best interest of the seller, and that is what they are contractually bound to do.
Well, we'll see how it all shakes out, and certainly a lot more to be talked about here. Anthony Lamacchia, we always appreciate your insight and your expertise. Good to talk to you, Anthony.
Same to you. Thank you for having me on.
You bet.